Hi everyone! The Ordinary have always had some great vitamin A derivative products within their collection. They've got some growing-active retinoids and some retinols. But I've always thought of them as those beginner retinoid products. For anybody that's never used a retinoid before, I would always steer them towards the Ordinary to start there first. And then once they could tolerate a retinoid, I would probably point them towards a different brand that has stronger retinoids within their collection, where you're going to receive better continued results over time. That is until now, because the Ordinary have just released their Retinal 0.2% Emulsion, which is potent. This is a strong formula. It's going to be great for anybody that doesn't want to go down the prescription route, but does want something that is seriously strong that you can buy over the counter. The only other over-the-counter retinol product that I know is this strength is the Medik8 20. Again, 0.2% retinol, incredibly strong. That formula is £99 for 30 mils. This formula, you get 15 mils in here, £15.20. So in direct conversion, £30.40 for 30 mils. So this is 3 times more affordable than the Medik8. Now, maybe I'm not being fair likening this to the Medik8 product, because really the only similarity is that they're both retinol products and they're both the same strength. There are lots of differences in both formulas. I'm going to go into this formula though in just a second, but let's look at retinoids in general. So there are 3 different types of vitamin A derivative that you can buy over the counter. There's retinil, retinol, and retinal. All of those forms of vitamin A have to be converted into retinoic acid for them to do all the good stuff that we want a retinoid to be able to do, like increase cell turnover, increase collagen and elastin production, increase suppleness and firmness, decrease pigmentation, fine lines and wrinkles, texture, crepiness. All of those things are done by retinoic acid. And depending on which vitamin A derivative you have within your product, depends on how much gymnastics your skin has to do in order to convert that vitamin A derivative into retinoic acid so it can actually get on with doing all that good stuff. Firstly, there's retinil. Retinil has to convert itself 3 different times in order to get to retinoic acid. That means that retinil is slightly weaker, it's going to be slightly more gentle on the skin, but slightly less effective. Then you've got retinol. That has 2 conversions to get to retinoic acid. So again, it's going to take time, it's going to be slightly less effective, slightly less potent for the skin. And then there's retinal. Retinal only has 1 conversion to get to the good stuff, so it's going to start working quite quickly, but that also comes with its challenges. It may be a little bit more irritating on the skin. There may be more side effects with retinal than with retinol and with retinil. So the Retinal 0.2% Emulsion is a lovely, creamy, lightweight, yellow in colour emulsion. It is beautiful. It sinks into the skin well with no effort. It doesn't leave an oily residue or any sort of slip on the surface of the skin, which I really, really like. It leaves my skin feeling silky smooth and soft, which is unheard of for me for a retinoid product. Generally, they don't do that. This one does for me. And I find that it works well with or without a moisturizer. Now, I mentioned that retinols, especially retinol products at this strength, which is incredibly strong for an over-the-counter product, can be quite irritating on the skin if your skin isn't already used to high-strength retinoid products. Well, the Ordinary has done such a great job of formulating this. They have left no stone unturned, and they've actually implemented a lot of beautiful, calming, anti-irritation ingredients within this formula to help counteract any possible side effects in the future. Now, obviously, it's not going to counteract every single side effect. Everyone's skin is going to be different, and it also depends on the quality of your skin and the skin barrier and how you apply the product. And I'll go into that in a little bit more depth in just a second. But let's talk about these calming and anti-irritation ingredients. So this formulation includes synthetic oat analogues, which are a key beneficial component of oats to target skin discomfort and dryness. This also includes, and excuse me for reading off my notes here, we've got ginger extract, 4-T-butylcyclohexanol, you've got biosaccharide gum 1, and bisabolol within the formula, which are all incredibly soothing ingredients and also anti-irritation as well. And I actually really enjoy applying this formula to my skin. Usually, applying any sort of retinoid serum to my skin, it's a bit of a means to an end. I do it because I know it's good for my skin. I don't always do it because my skin feels beautiful after, and this is a double whammy, so I'm impressed. If you're still worried about potential side effects, however, your application techniques can make the world of difference. So number one, always apply to a dry skin. If you apply to a damp skin, it's just going to speed up penetration, and if you speed up penetration, it's going to be more likely that you will receive some sort of irritation along the way. So if you are worried, number one, apply to a dry skin. Number two, you can apply this sandwiched in between 2 layers of moisturizer. So apply a layer of moisturizer, allow that to sink in and dry down, then apply your retinol emulsion, and then apply another layer of moisturizer over the top to lock everything in place and really look after the skin barrier. 1 pump of this formula should do the entire face. I definitely wouldn't be applying any more than 1 pump. 1, you're wasting the product because you only need what you need. Just because you're applying more doesn't mean you're going to get more out of it. And 2, if you're applying more than you need, you're more likely to get more irritation, and you want to avoid that. With regards to application, unless you're used to using a retinol product of exactly the same strength, I would proceed with caution, slow things down a little bit. I'd only apply this twice a week and really space out those applications. So for example, apply on a Monday and then apply on a Thursday. Do that for a month. If your skin can tolerate that, you can then increase the days of application. So I'd then increase to 3 times a week, maybe do a Monday, a Thursday, and a Saturday, for instance. If your skin can tolerate that, after a further month, you can then increase application again and work up to every single day over a number of months. And hopefully doing it that way, you'll receive a lot less irritation and your skin will be happy. Regardless of those tips and tricks, and regardless of how fantastic I think this formula is, which I definitely do think it is an amazing formula, I just want to reiterate, please don't jump into this too soon. It is an incredibly high strength emulsion, and I don't want to see people getting into a mess because they think that stronger is going to be better, when a lot of the times with vitamin A derivatives that is just not the case. You need to get your skin used to retinoids before you jump into something that is this strong. And if you are under the age of 25, you do not need a retinoid within your skincare routine unless you have acne on your skin that you're wanting to treat. I wouldn't recommend a retinoid to anybody under the age of 25. It's just not necessary. So although I absolutely love this formula, and it is a great formula, I'm not knocking it at all, I am still a little bit disappointed, and here's why. So I think this formula is a million times better than any of the other vitamin A derivative formulas that The Ordinary has on offer. And probably the main reason is because I'm not a big fan of retinoids in squalane, and the majority of the retinoids that are on offer through The Ordinary are in a squalane solution, and it just doesn't penetrate my skin as nicely. It gives me that oily residue on the surface, and I'm just not a big fan. This I can definitely get on board with, but it is super strong. So I would have really liked them to bring out some weaker versions of this formula. So a 0.02% would have been nice, and then a 0.06% and a 0.1%, which is half the strength of this one. And then every single time somebody comes to me and needs a vitamin A derivative, The Ordinary would be a one-stop shop. You can go straight into the 0.02, work up to the 0.06, then the 0.1, and then end off with this one. And unfortunately, I can't do that at the moment, so it's this one. Or none. So I am hoping that this is the first in many retinol products that The Ordinary will release in the future. I do not have an inside scoop on that. I am just hoping. This is wishful thinking on my part. But this formula is lovely, and I think it is great value for money. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope I've been able to answer all of your questions. If I've left something unanswered, please let me know in the comment section, and I will answer your questions as soon as I possibly can. I really like this. Have you already tried it? Let me know your experiences. Share your thoughts with the rest of the pack in the comments section. Also, if you've not subscribed to my channel for any reason in the past, I'd love it if you do that before you leave today. Also, click that like button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Hope to see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.